Hi there, Libra, and welcome to Boneco Tarot. I am here with your monthly overview for July. I'm going to pull a card for each week, and then one card for the overall for the month, and I'm also going to clarify a few of these things. So, I have shuffled the cards a whole bunch of times before I started recording, but we're going to do it a little bit more here. So we're looking for insight into the month of July for Libra, July 2018 for Libra, July 2018 for Libra. All right. Got a jumper, so we'll take that for week one, which is the Seven of Wands. And I'm going to stop shuffling there and cut. All right. So, Seven of Wands, week one. Week two, we have the Moon. Week three, we have the Eight of Wands. So there's a progression that we can see. Seven of Wands, Mystery, Eight of Wands, third week. So something is definitely unfolding for you. And then the Page of Swords. So things are going to be happening quickly, starting the third week, which goes in line with the overall astrological energies that are happening right now, because we've got a number of planets in retrograde, so it's making everything feel quite a bit slower. And the feel for overall for the month, this has been the card for July, let me tell you. This one has been coming up in almost every card, and the key part of it is going to be in the second week, because see how there's a moon here for the Two of Swords? Well, it's a throw to the moon here. So before we go too far that way, let's get into clarifying this week by week. So let's clarify the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is usually a fairly defensive posture. It's when you're standing your ground against the crowd, essentially. And you're standing on your own for what you believe in. So let's see if we can get some insight into that first week. Please clarify the Seven of Wands. All right, so Temperance and Strength. So, Libra, this is kind of, I would say that these two cards here in support of this one is really about the enhancement of Libra's natural art of diplomacy. So, Temperance is about patience, and then Strength is also about patience. The woman who tames the lion had to be patient in order to get to that. So there also may be a Leo somewhere in your world where there's a defensive posture either on your part or theirs. Or there could also be a Sagittarius that you could be maybe in an argument with. Temperance and Strength are also both major arcana. So this is going to be a significant week of testing, where you need to keep your cool. And by all accounts that I can see here, that's not going to be a problem. So now let's look at the second week with the moon. And with this, it's kind of like whatever showdown you have in the first week, it's going to have some sort of effect that you and whoever you're interacting with is going to have to retreat from. So let's see what the clarifiers have to say about the moon. So we've got the Queen of Pentacles and the Magician. So yeah, perhaps Libra's got an idea that they really believe in as to how to proceed forward. But the people that Libra are interacting with aren't hip to that idea. So theoretically, once you've spoken your piece in that first week, then the Queen of Pentacles, which I'm going to suggest is essentially what the behavior is, or is the result of that typical Libran diplomatic behavior, and that is it manifests things. You've got the Magician, the ultimate manifester of the tarot. So it's like this incubation or pregnant phase of an idea that needs to kind of go in the dark for a little bit before it actually appears as something in the daylight. The third week, I think, is going to change all of that. The Eight of Wands is all about super fast communication. It's also known as the arrows of love. So if there is a relationship somewhere in your orbit, this could be the very fast movement towards making that happen or solidifying a relationship. So let's see what the clarifying cards have to say about the Eight of Wands. All right, so we've got the Page of Swords, which is week 4. So there's definitely a progression here from the Eight of Wands, the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords. So we've got the Page of Swords and the Hanged Man, which would then throw to the Two of Swords that you have as the overall. So very interesting, Libra, in terms of, and the Page of Swords is also you. So this could be, well, let's just get the clarifiers, because getting way ahead of myself here. So things are starting to move. You're communicating clearly to people, but there's still something not quite right by the third week. And it looks like overall for the month. We'll see what happens when we clarify the fourth week card. But there's very much deliberation and a sense of waiting for the right time for things, which, again, is in keeping with all of this crazy astrological stuff that's going on with the retrograde planets. So it's kind of like none of us are able to really shoot out of the gate until we've got all the information, and it's being time released right now. So All right, so let's see what we have for the Page of Swords. If we can clarify the Page of Swords. Oh, okay. 2 jumped out, so I'm going to take them. So we've got the Page of Wands and the 3 of Swords. So there is likely to be some disappointment at the end of the week. And it could be because of a fire sign, but it also could be, too, that the inspired part of you with this idea, your perception around it, needs shifting. If things aren't happening as fast as you wanted them to happen, there's likely a reason for it. And, you know, worst case scenario, you have an unfortunate conversation with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and it causes some pain for you or for them. So because we've got the 2 of Swords as the overall, I haven't been so far in the readings, but I'm going to clarify it for you today, Libra, so that we can get a bit of an idea as to what is going on. All right, well, okay. So the 2 of Swords being an inability to move forward because you don't have all the information. Not being able to make the decisions that you want to make. And it's probably because there are so many choices. It's possible that you started something and you didn't realize how many opportunities would open up as a result. And so now you need to integrate those. So it's kind of like, it's like, oh, I really, really wanted this to happen. I really, really wanted this to happen. And then it doesn't happen. And then you're sad about it. And then all of a sudden, something else happens and it's a much better scenario, or it gets you to your initial objective faster, but you just couldn't see it. So I hope that you find that helpful, Libra, and enjoy July, and stay tuned for more readings here at Monaco Tarot. Thanks again.